Your stories, our community. This is Local 5 News with Shelley Boton, Nate Stewart, and meteorologist Jordan Lamers.
Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for waking up with Local 5 this morning. We are so ready to go, aren't you?
You know what? Everybody's in a good mood, I think, right now because it's such a, it's Friday, for one thing.
Of course.
But it's going to be nice today.
Yes.
It's going to be a nice weekend. It's a holiday weekend. Some people are off today.
Some people are traveling, going to go see family. So everyone's, mood is on the up and up. And yes, this weather forecast, you can't complain with that, right?
I know. And this comes after, 2 days of rain and cloudy conditions too, Jordan.
Yep.
So not just today, tomorrow, going into Easter, we can't wait.
Stepping it up. Up and up and up we go right into the weekend in terms of high temperatures. Today, well, we'll see highs in the 50s. Right now, it's 38 in Oshkosh as we overlook the Fox River there by Lake Winnebago. There is a few clouds to start the day, and those are going to be pesky, at least to start. Now, here are our temperatures across the board, where we're seeing a 40-degree reading in Green Bay, about 32 in Stevens Point. We're pulling our air from the north today, but we will see some sunshine. So northerly winds will bring in a cooler air mass, quote unquote, but some of this cloud cover that you see there will slowly work off to the east, bringing in that sun right through the midday hours. 51 at noon, and a little breezy this afternoon with highs in the upper 50s to near 60, talking about Easter with that full forecast coming up.
And we begin with new developments now this morning. It's been 6 months since one home on the Village of Harrison's lakefront exploded, damaging several surrounding homes.
While the house that exploded was a total loss, the owner is currently rebuilding the house that once stood there. But one neighbor is still working to repair the property where he grew up.
Yeah, and that's Steve Gosha. He's trying to repair the home he's lived in for 53 years. But as of now, the house has cracks that weren't there before, and his heating bills have been twice as much. The doors and windows don't fit properly after the house shifted, so cold air is constantly creeping in as well. He says the amount of money the insurance company wants to give him is not enough to put a new roof on the garage.
What frustrates me is it's been months now since the explosion went off, and everybody else is all settled with the insurance companies, and my insurance company is not working with me on this.
Now, back in October, many residents reported having smelling gas after the explosion, but again, it's still under investigation and no conclusive cause has been found.
In other local news, fire officials say the basement of a New London bar has been gutted due to a fire. The owner of the log cabin bar reported having electrical problems in the basement before the fire broke out yesterday afternoon around 4:25. The bar and living area sustained heavy smoke damage. It is still unclear if or when the bar will reopen.
Students at Shattuck Middle School in Neenah found out firsthand what it takes to walk in the shoes of first responders. The 7th and 8th graders took part in several fitness exercises led by members of the Neenah Menasha Fire Department. The students dragged weighted mannequins around cones, performed hands-only CPR, and carried fire hoses up stairwells.
It's a blast seeing the kids. I mean, you have the ones that are barely 70 pounds, and they want to put the heaviest vest on. They want to have the biggest hose, and they're challenging themselves greatly.
Besides merely stressing the importance of fitness, the fire department hopes that these types of exercises encourage students to consider firefighting as a career.
In state news this morning, new efforts are underway to fully legalize marijuana across Wisconsin. Representative Melissa Sargent is unveiling the latest bill as she says it's not a question of either or when it comes to legalization for medical versus recreational use. She believes it's time for both. But among state leaders, there is a much larger divide. Both Republican leaders, Speaker Robin Vos and Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald, say they don't support full legalization. But nonetheless, Sargent says she will continue to fight for what she believes the people want.
I depend on my advocates, the friends and neighbors from across the state of Wisconsin that are passionate to reach out to their elected officials and have those conversations. I will continue knocking on doors and having conversations with my colleagues in this building as well. Quite frankly, I'm not afraid of the mountain that we have to climb here.
The latest Marquette Law School poll showed 83% of people say medical marijuana with a doctor's note should be legalized. 59% say they support full legalization.
We're keeping it local now this morning. The overflow procedure for the sewer treatment plant in the city of Oconto has been shut off for the time being. Now, this comes on the heels of the sewer system reaching capacity yesterday. The system was being temporarily discharged near the Collins Avenue Bridge. However, now the treatment plant is able to keep up with the sewage flows and is no longer being pumped into the river.
And with the warmer temps mixed with spring snow and rain, flooding is a risk along Wisconsin rivers. And one of those areas that are under a flood warning is the Embarrass River in Shawano County. Water on the river has already begun to rise past normal levels. However, there have been no reports of homes or businesses affected by the flooding yet.
And residents in Kashina are starting to see this flooding along the Wolf River. Sandbags are being laid down to buy homes and businesses to ensure the buildings are protected from these flood waters. So, Jordan, yeah, that rain leading to some of this flooding.
Yes, it's 5:05 right now. Let's get that weather check. We do have some dry weather starting to return to us here locally, so that's the good news into this weekend. But right now in Green Bay, no flood warning here in the Fox. We have temperatures that are in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. A pesky north wind, though, 14 miles per hour, makes it feel like 32. So a little chilly with that breeze as we kick off the day. Here's your Steinhoffels bus stop forecast. About 39. It is light jacket weather, but you're going to be shedding that later on this afternoon as we get into the 50s. But again, that wind will be out there for us. I'll let you know when this calms down coming up.
And Easter Sunday is already this weekend, and some will be celebrating with the tradition of chocolate and candy. Some people, a lot of people. Berenson's Candies, located right here in Green Bay, has been prepping for months.
Yeah, this is awesome. That's where we find Local 5's Calvin Lewis. He's live there with more. Calvin, good morning. Happy Easter.
Yeah, Shelly, Nate, you know, Easter, nothing says Easter like chocolate and candy, am I right? And so that's why we're here at Berenson's, you know, celebrating Easter with what more than chocolate and candy. And you know what, joining me now is owner Mark. Mark, thanks for joining us this morning. I guess, you know, what is the connection between chocolate and Easter?
I think it makes everybody feel good. Spring makes everybody feel good. It's a time of the year where people like to give, and what's a better way to give with chocolate eggs, chocolate rabbits. You know, it's a rebirth of religion, everything. So
yeah,
it's part of spring. It always has been, I believe. So
yeah,
as far as I know.
Yeah, and really quickly, I guess, you know, if you could talk about what we've got going on over here with these baskets.
Oh, we have some of our staples that we've been making since 1925 are the old-fashioned coconut nests, the bacon and eggs. You know, some of the more interesting kind of novelty types of Easter candy.
All right, very good. And so we've got plenty of chocolate and plenty of candy. We're going to see if we can't maybe get our hands on some of these, you know, making it in the back over there. So for now, guys, I'll toss it back to you in the studio, reporting live in Green Bay. Calvin Lewis, Local 5 this morning.
Thank you, Calvin. Looks delicious. Yeah. How many times have you seen your favorite movie? If you're like a lot of guys, hundreds?
A lot, yeah, but probably not as many times as this Wisconsin guy who just set the Guinness World Record for the amount of times he attended a movie. So find out which movie and how much time he invested coming up.
And let's check out that early morning commute with our DOT network cameras on I-41 and Wisconsin 172. People just going to start their Friday and their holiday weekend. Drive safely when you leave the house.
You're watching Local 5 This Morning with Shelley Bota and Nate Stewart.